Why can't you find love? How long have you really been single? Really? Having trouble finding that special soulmate? I can solve this one. Secrets of Birthdays, now live for purchase. Your love trouble? Over. All that and more at secretsofbirthdays.com. Soul Garden. Hello, Ambassador Gemini, and welcome back to Soul Horoscopes Weekly Edition. I'm your host of the universe, Christopher Witecki. And this week's free horoscope is sponsored by yours truly. Right now at soulmart.me, if you buy a 1-hour reading with me, I'll throw in a free 30-minute follow-up in 2012. This is perfect for first-time clients, for your first reading, because we can really work on an issue and work through it this year. If you're ready to graduate, come give it a try. You're worth the investment, right? And come on down to soulgarden.me. We got a whole bunch of twins out there for you. We even have a writing staff, a lot of chatty Geminis on Soul Garden. In fact, a lot of our Geminis actually write for other signs even, because Geminis are such great communicators. We tend to staff up on a lot of them. So if you want to work with us, come on down and read about Freaky Friday. That's what our Gemini writer is talking about this week, and see what we mean by that. Geminis have a lot of change going on with interfaith, and we've got the place for you to stock up on other people that believe in you. Soulgarden.me. Now, where are we? Well, as we start the week, we're actually in a transition. Monday is a day of being tested on the final degree, the 20th degree of Pisces. This was a transit in where you see yourself in the world as far as legacy, decision-making, control consciousness. That's what you just spent the last 30 days. Upgrading control issues, where you have control issues with yourself, where your life is out of control, where your legacy and future is out of control because of your lack of ability to control, or the fact you haven't taken control. Whatever the case is, you might feel out of control on Monday. That's because it is a tested degree. And the moon is in Aquarius, so when it comes to your emotions, you are a little detached, you really don't want to participate, and that's adding probably to the problem of the test, is that you don't really want to show up for it with your emotions off in theoretical land on Monday. So Monday might be a tough day. Just hold to your vision and hold to what you came up with in the last 30 days. On Tuesday, we move to 0 degrees Aries. And I always say 0 means 0. We're in the no man's land between two states of awareness. Geminis are shifting from career control consciousness now to your context consciousness. Context consciousness is the way you see yourself in. Insert blank. So the way you see yourself in your family, the way you see yourself in the world, the way you see yourself in this relationship. It is always the context in which turns into, in practical prediction, friendships, your social circle, your politics, where you associate with yourself in society, your sphere of influence, if you are a person like myself who has people who check in with you, because you have people that are checking in with you. So it would be that sphere of influence, your circle on Google, etc., etc. So this is the new topic, where Geminis in the next week are not just going to start to change how they see themselves in the world, but really a quantum leap. That's what I'm predicting. So after last week's holy shift, this week's quantum leap, no kidding, it's because the sun will conjunct Uranus. And so as you look at context consciousness, realize that in a few minutes you're going to look around and you're not going to be in Kansas anymore, at least if everything goes correctly. So Tuesday is the transition to that. Emotions fall through with career on Tuesday, so it's like an overlap of the issues. Technically you're working on friendship and reputation, but your emotions are still focusing on career and legacy and the bridging of the two on Tuesday. Now if you need extra help or extra credit, don't forget about office hours. Our SoulMart practitioners come online Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11 a.m. Pacific, which is 9 a.m. Honolulu or 6 p.m. in London. But we come on webcam and we help you for 15 minutes. It's a way to get to know us. It's a way to kind of ask a question without buying a reading. And it's a way to chat. I'm usually in the chat rooms being a smart aleck. So come on down and chat with me if nothing else. Usually I'm in there, you'll see. Moving on to Wednesday, the sun clicks into 1 degree. Now the sun is officially on approach for Uranus, which is currently 4 degrees. When the sun crosses Uranus, or by the time the sun crosses Uranus, I would predict a quantum leap in the way Geminis see themselves in the world. Now, this may actually happen in very simple levels. For instance, if you are a woman and you realize you're pregnant and you're going to have a baby, whoa, that's quantum leap. You're a mother, right? That's a big quantum leap. So it's not like we don't go through quantum leaps outside of Sun Uranus. It definitely happens with Sun Uranus. So some sort of quantum leap. Moon still in profession. This red line you see here is fear. In some regards, whatever this leap calls for, you're afraid to jump in the pool. Geminis don't like changes in their boundaries. They don't like having to get used to new zones. They don't like having to get used to having to surrender or compromise on boundaries. And this is definitely going to call for that. So you're going to have to step away from your old fears of getting in the hot tub, and you're going to have to. This is a Pluto issue. You have no choice. But the red line is really fear anyways. False evidence appearing real. It's not even real, but it will come up and it has to be dealt with. That starts on Wednesday. Now, for those of you that I watch over personally in the Guardian Agency, I will send out personal attacks starting on Wednesday. If your natal chart shows any strengths or weaknesses in the Aries vibration. This is just things to keep in mind for the next 30 days. You can get up to 9 text messages depending on how many aspects I'm looking at, so be prepared. But it's all good, right? Knowing is half the battle. Then on Thursday, it's La Casse Day. Already we are setting intentions and moving into our magic for the month. That's because the moon has reached the sun, otherwise known as a new moon, but it looks like a pretty damn big party going on in Aries, huh? Hopefully we were all invited. This party is all your social life. All this energy is focused on Geminis and their context consciousness. A radical shift. Let us not forget, Mercury is retrograde. So right now you're operating in the opposite twin while all this is going on. So the universe kind of has you a little drunk, so to speak, making you operate with the quieter Gemini or the quieter twin. The left hand if you're right-handed. Put it about that way. But either way, Mercury's retrograde, the sun's approaching Uranus, and the moon is there. You may not know what the quantum leap is on La Casse Day. So La Casse Day is kind of a weird one for me. I'm going to be sitting back and observing what people say, but you want to put out there what you want. I want to be this in the world. I want to be the smartest, the fastest, the quietest, the most private. I want to move to this sector. I want to live in this part of the world. I want these kind of people to be my friends. It is the intention setting of where you see yourself in society, but it is also how you see yourself in the world in the context of the we. It is the big how do you versus the whole world thing. Where is your individuality as well? That's a big part of context consciousness, because whatever you're not is your individuality. So it's a big shift. And you want to put your heart into it on this day, all the while breaking from fears that you're going to have to get in the hot tub. Now, on Friday, things kind of party up on Friday. Friday's definitely the day where Gemini's are going to want to go out and have some fun. The moon will be in Aries and Jupiter rules the day. So whatever yesterday's heaviness was, today it's about maracas and probably happy hour, knowing my Gemini friends. And Mercury's retrograde, so what the hell? You're going to give yourself permission, right? So Friday will probably be a fun day for dating and friends and things like that. But it is nonetheless a day of exploring your options. So if you're not quite sure what new world you want to live in, go shopping on Friday. Go look for a new neighborhood. Go look for new friends. Go say hi to somebody new in the bar. It's all about new with Jupiter. Now, speaking of Jupiter, that was last week's holy shift, right? This soul pyramid, which didn't go away. We're just past the biggest point of it. That holy shift for Geminis last week was a new way of believing in yourself on the inside. A new faith, or at least stepping away from the old reasons. You used to have faith in yourself because you always did this, or had that person. But whatever that old faith was died in the holy shift, leaving you with a new potential faith. This new faith has a lot to do with the way you context yourself in the world. The two issues really are tied. So there's a lot of dynamic change, and on Friday you're starting to feel it. Now on Friday, if you want a little companionship, hey, don't forget about SG Live. Carolyn Nagel and I are live, and this week we are talking about courage. And courage is a part of Aries energy. How do they do it? For instance, where will you muster the courage to have to change your boundaries? Because I know Geminis don't like that idea. So we'll talk about courage and where it comes from. That's at 11 a.m. Pacific time, which is 9 a.m. Honolulu and 6 p.m. London right now. And if you can't make it live in our chat rooms, well, come on down any time of the weekend. We do record it. Then comes a new holiday here at Soul Garden, something I've invented for whenever the sun conjuncts Uranus, and it is the Your Heads Up Uranus weekend. What I've come to realize is that Uranus breakthrough, profound innovation, a quantum leap, astrologically, really is not because God just out of nowhere gives us this magic lantern. It's actually because we have magically had our head up Uranus all this time, that we have decided to have a limited view. In your case, I think the quantum leap for Geminis in seeing a new world is seeing how they have lived in a tiny world, and for some reason have decided to live in that tiny world. I would assume tiny is the adjective, but it can be any adjective. Red, painful, cruel, whatever world you don't want to be in, why the hell were you in that world? The biggest quantum leap to me is why you had your head up Uranus, not so much what's about to happen in the future, because if you can just prevent yourself from doing that again, then maybe you will always quantum grow in this area. So it could be very profound information. Now, we will all be on Soul Garden in the lounge, chatting it up, talking about where our head has been up Uranus. Feel free to come on down anytime in the weekend. Over on Sunday, you will get very cloudy and less maracas, because the moon will go into Taurus and emotions will have to shift on Sunday to where that faith was. So Sunday is actually a replay of last week's holy shift of stepping away from one faith and toward another. Sunday is a follow through. It's like a perfect heads up Uranus weekend, bracket to bracket. All right, Gemini, that's all I have for this 7-day forecast. I'll see you online in the chat room, or reply if you're in the Garden Agency, or I'll see you in 7 days right here. Until then, live, love, be.